Alright folks, welcome back. We are going to be doing something that we could have learned from the beginning, but I didn't really want to put it in right away because it could potentially have confused you. So what we're going to do for this next exercise is we're going to be getting into HTML5 semantics, right? And these HTML5 semantics are the HTML5 layout conventions. So for this, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a new document just to kind of have us a fresh start to look at things. So let's just call this one our HTML5 layout. Okay? And it's great. And so now I have a fresh document to work with. Now, HTML5 dictates there are several different elements that we can work with. There are some of them, though, that are pretty standard fare for putting different things in. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of those standard elements in there. Now, what I'm going to expect from you is that every time you make a web page from now on, these elements will be present within that web page. So the first one we're going to work with is the header element. And the header, let me go ahead and make another slide here for you. The header, exercise 5, is the location of the heading tags. So, i.e. H1, H2, etc. Right. So generally this is where your headers will go. Now if you have multiple headers, you'll have multiple header tags. This is generally where you're going to encapsulate them, because you might have multiple different things going on with inside the header. Just use header to kind of encapsulate all that. The next one is going to be the nav tag, and nav is probably one of the ones that makes the most sense and the easiest to remember. This is where your navigation bar is. So the navigation bar is always inside your nav tag. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave the head there, hit enter, and just do nav. So these two are probably the easiest ones to remember. Outside that, we also have something known as the section tag. Now the section tag is generally kind of one of those things that is acting as main content of the web page. So main web page content often is inside your section tag. Not saying that that's where it has to be, because you could also have what is known as an article tag, which can also have web page content. All a section tag is simply just it's a section of your web page. Article often has web page content as well. So web page content, web page content. So far, so good. All right. So we're going to go ahead and just add that in here. Article. And then the next thing is what's known as an aside. Now, an aside, I'm just going to do it this way. An aside is simply going to be, it is a sidebar content. So if you ever go to a web page and you have your main stuff that you look at, and then off to the side, along either left side, right side, doesn't matter, there's like ads or additional like little clicky content or something like that off to the side. That's usually this kind of thing. This is what's known as sidebar content. They usually put that in an aside. And then the last one, which is absolutely essential if you ever consider anything web page or web development, is a footer. And this is often where your copyright and legal information go. So let's go ahead and add our footer in here. Okay. So now we have stylized a web page, right? And I'm going to choose save, and I'm just going to call this one index 2, because for our demonstration purposes it doesn't matter. So index 2 is right here. All right. Now inside of these elements I can put anything I want. So I could put my headers in here, I could put my nav in here, all those other kind of different things. So I have a whole bunch of different things I can do. So for example, in header I can go insert, I can choose a heading of H1, and I can just say this is a heading. I can go to my nav, I can go up here to insert, And you notice that there's not a direct thing for link. It's because here under hyperlink. All right, and it's going to ask me what the text is, and I can say link to, let's say, the school website, so hbpirates.org. All right, the link then is, where do you want that to go? Is it another web page? Is it, something else? So I'm just going to school web page is http://www.hbpirates.org. All right. Under target, you can choose some different things. I'm just going to leave those alone and leave all the rest of these alone as well. I'm just going to click OK. And there's my first link. If I want a second link in here, I can easily add one in here as well. Let's say hyperlink. And let's say at this time I want to link to the original index file. I can click on the folder icon here to browse. I can have it go to index.html. So there's my two files there. And I'm just going to go ahead and file, save all. And in the section tag, I can easily add something like a paragraph. And maybe I just want to add some sample paragraphs, so I'm just going to insert paragraph. And I'm going to do the same thing with article, insert paragraph. Okay. Aside, I'll do the same thing, insert. I'm going to do a, let's this time do a table. You can easily add a table in here as well. So I'm just going to leave that as is. I have a top headers. That sounds good. And you can see it created a table for me here in my aside. And then let's just go down to the footer. And you can see right here, just as insert footer, which will just create the footer. So for now, I'm not going to get into the full stuff, so I'm just put copyright, just write the text out, and just put the year. Let's put 2018. Okay, hit save. And now I've created my web page. Now the last thing I'm going to want to do is I want to just show you how to quickly create an iframe. Now for me to create an iframe, I'm just going to remove this. I can go ahead and start typing iframe. Right. Now iframes, of course, need a source element. And then you would have to point that to a source element. So we want ours for our purposes. In an example, you're going to have it go to my website, so Math&Comps.com. Now, of course, I can't just put Math&Comps.com. I have to put the full URL, so http://www.mathandcomps.com. And then you just would give it a width and height. So width equals, let's do 500 pixels, and it's not equal. Let's quote 500, and then height equals, let's do 400. Okay. Close it out, and now I've created an iframe. And look, there's my web page. Hey, it's begun. It's the inception. So here's how we can go ahead and create things with the HTML5 semantics. So from now on forth, you guys should be creating web pages with all these elements here: header, nav, section, article, aside, and footer. I should expect to see all those in there with the appropriate information. So you should always have the copyright information in there. That's one of the big things I'm going to be looking for. Okay, so that's going to kind of wrap us up for today. It's kind of a quicker, easier one. So until next time.